What's up, everybody? As you can see, I have a very special guest today here on Anfield Agenda. You can call him what you like. You can call him Michael. You can call him the Irish guy. You can call him that fella from HITC Sport. Michael, I'm sure you've been called a lot worse, fella.
Absolutely, yes. I mean, 100, whichever takes your fancy, the people out there. But again, I must stress, if you're calling me the Irish guy, it doesn't really fit this time, considering we've got another Irish guy to my exact left. So yeah. And you're the one who still lives in Ireland, so I don't know why they'd be calling me the Irish guy. I haven't lived there in 5 years.
That's it, mate. Do you know what? I could be an expat myself, though, if things keep going well, mate. I'm not going to lie. I might not Dubai as things stand.
Is that right? Yeah. If Liverpool lose, Liverpool just have to keep losing games, and then suddenly you'll be on a yacht somewhere in the Middle East.
Do you know what? Hand on heart, mate. I'd honestly swap it for the 3 points each week. No joke. I honestly would.
Wait, I'm glad to hear you say that, because you look at some other channels, and I half wonder in the back of my mind, yeah, Arsenal are doing shit, but at the same time, your channel's going through the roof. So, I mean, is there a bit of a conflict of interest at the end of the day then? But with you,
sometimes
you're saying that.
I think there might be, but I'm honestly in this, mate, for the experiences and the laugh. I mean, this has been, from day one for me, this has been about being able to chat like fellas like yourself or Jack, mate, or just doing fun stuff, man, during lockdown when people are bored out of their minds. Now, I wanted to think where to start with this. So I went deep and I just thought, Thierry Henry's a cheating bastard. That's the only place we can start this conversation.
Yes, good man, all right? Because whenever I say in HITC, I met with a barrage of Arsenal fans coming in telling me how great a player was. I don't care that he was a Golden Boot winner multiple times. Like you said, he's a cheating bastard and deserves to be called out for it.
Absolutely. I'm still not over it, mate. I won't lie. I'm not even the biggest fan of international football. And still to this day, I look at him and go, yeah, you could have been great if you went to Liverpool, but you're still a cheating scumbag.
Yeah. Hang on. Do you remember where? Can you remember where you were when that ball occurred and destroyed our hopes and dreams? Do you remember? Because it's still visceral for me.
I was in my living room, mate, and I was sure I was smashing something. I'm 100% certain I was smashing something. What about you? Where were you?
Oh yeah, the same. Watching it with my father, and my father is the most placid man. He's a Buddhist. He sees the good in everyone. After that game, he was not seeing the good in Thierry Henry. Even him was spitting venom at the man, because honestly, it wasn't even so much the handball. He sat down beside Richard Dunn in the center circle and consoling him. To me, that just makes it worse. It looks like you're laughing in our face.
Oh, it was horrible, mate. It was horrible. But look, I've worked with a psychologist for 5-6 years, and we've been trying to put together one question to summarize a human being. And this question only works with Irish people, so I'm going to put it to you straight away. And this has been very well researched, well documented. I can back this up with scientific evidence. I want to know, King, Tato, or Kyo's?
Well, Tato's, of course. I mean, any other answer than that is wrong. It just is.
It's funny, you're clearly a psychopath, so clearly.
It's funny you saying that, though. I'm guessing a lot of people in the comments will be they won't even know what one of them is. Never mind 3. So I think we just confused a lot of people. What do you think?
Yeah, Kills all the way though, mate. Kills is the correct answer. Yeah, you're clearly a psychopath if you're going for Tato. I mean, one thing that I want to say is, if you think that the stereotypical Irish people, mate, not only do we have a selection of wonderful, because we have a theme park, man, dedicated to crisps over here, Tato Park. I mean, only in Ireland.
Well, you know what? Even just mentioned now, I kind of feel a bit bad, because it must be about half a decade since I've had any of them, because you can't get them over here. It's handy.
I will sort you out, buddy. I will. The good folks at Kyo's will look after you. We've got Jack Mate sorted. They're sending him over a gift basket.
Well, thank you, because my own mother wouldn't do that for me. So Jesus, you must be a saint, Craig, to be doing this for me.
Well, I've been trying to drive a few snakes out of here for a while, boy. I can tell you that. So, how are things with you during the lockdown, Michael? How have you been getting on? Honestly, it's been tough for a lot of people, and you know, YouTubers been out there putting the graft in, trying to keep people entertained. How have you found it?
To be honest, I wouldn't really want to complain, because, like, I think we are lucky. The fact that, football disappeared for about 3 months last year, or whatever it was. So it was tough to find content. But you see people, like, if you're a YouTuber, you're not going to get furloughed. Do you know what I mean? So I'm very lucky.
Don't be telling Connor that. He's in the background recording this. Don't.
Oh yeah. You got to keep that option up just in case for him, right?
Keep him on his toes.
Like, I can't. If I was working a 9-to-5 job and be told to sit at home and do nothing for 6 months, I'd probably go insane. But I think having YouTube has massively helped me, because I just stay productive, and I don't really have time to just sit around and think about what I can't do, because oh shit, I got another video to get out for tomorrow morning. I'm pretty much always on the go. Do you know what I mean? I'd say, are you probably the same? I'd say, because correct me if I'm wrong, I was listening to the Jackmate one, and I don't think you're not doing this full time, are you?
No, not yet. Not at the level, mate. No, not at the level yet. But, you know, heading in the right direction. But as I've said to you at the start, for me, this has been about meeting other fans, interacting with people, trying to bring people together, having a bit of fun and a laugh. And, you know, I think if there's one thing us Irish fellas can do, mate, it's talk. So let's sit us in front of a microphone and we're good to go.
Exactly, 100%. You know, I discovered, am I right in saying that after the Villa game, did the true Geordie feature you on his one of his videos?
Yeah. Himself and Lawrence were going through it, the 7-2 game. It's infamous at this point, but the truth behind that is I kept saying 7 because I couldn't think of that, and I was trying to buy myself time because I was on the spot. So I just kept repeating 7. He did, and once I was told that he featured me, I was really nervous because I was like, they could have absolutely slaughtered me. But in fairness to them, they were rather kind, so I got off rather lightly on that one. I
was going to say, did you notice a significant, I don't know, an attraction to your channel? Did a bunch of people come in overnight? Was it kind of, because you see it all the time, you see the likes of KSI, I don't know if you're familiar, he's
absolutely,
crazy YouTuber. Yeah, he did that a couple of years ago for this guy called Tom Stockdale. He basically called him out, he basically highlighted one of his videos on his streams, and KSI with his massive audience, he completely changed this guy's career overnight. He went from about 50 subscribers to 300,000. So I was just wondering, I know True Geordie's not exactly on that scale, but was it kind of a similar thing? Did you check your analytics the next morning and it was like, fucking hell, it's shot through the roof here?
It's weird because it's hard to know. At the same time, so we had ESPN contacting us, asking us to use the footage of the clip. We had channels with a couple of million Instagram followers contacting us, and it did lead to us getting our first major sponsor on the channel, and it definitely did drive traffic our way. So that clip, whether it be True Geordie or wherever it came from, wherever people seen it, it certainly led to people coming in. But the funny thing is, Michael, and you'll know this yourself, people come in and they see these 30-second clips, but if your content is shite, people aren't going to stay around. People come in, and what we've seen is that this has brought people to our channel, but it's up to us then to hold them. So many channels out there that are filled with 1 million subscribers but are getting 20k views on their videos. It's about trying to just, for us, it's been about slow, steady growth, but there definitely has been moments like that and a few others that, look, I'm not going to lie, it's helped the channel. Definitely. It has helped the channel. It's brought eyes on us. And I'm someone like you. I can take it on the chin, man. I have a bit of fun with stuff like that. And you have to in this game. You have to be able to take the piss out of yourself.
100%. I learned that very quickly. Well, to be fair, like you say, the Irish are very good at taking the piss out of ourselves anyway. We don't take ourselves too seriously. But what I learned the first few months of the channel, I mean, whatever people say to you, whether it be in the YouTube comment section, whether it be Twitter or whatever, you can't read too much into it, really, because these people, they don't matter in a way. Do you know what I mean? I'm not saying like other human beings don't matter or anything. I'm not saying that. It's just they don't matter to your life, in a sense. You know, I mean, someone might disagree with you on what you think of, I don't know, Jurgen Klopp at the minute, like they did with me, right? I did a video about Jurgen Klopp. He should quit last week. And you got a load of Liverpool fans coming in and disagreeing. But it's, as long as they're not going personal with it, as long as they're not bringing up, you know, things that aren't relevant to the discussion. If it's about football, then I welcome it, to be honest, unless it's abuse. And then Twitter can be a bit of a minefield for that. But
stuff. But you know what, Michael? You touched on it there. These videos that people make, so they clip up of you, they add music to the background, all this kind of stuff. That's brilliant. That is fantastic. But what I love, and this is what drives me and keeps me going, is all these people that are giving you hate and spewing stuff. Little do they know, my friend, that they are doing all our PR for us in the background. They hate us, but yet they're giving us more views. They're driving traffic towards you. That's what drives me on.
It's the old Floyd Mayweather approach, isn't it? Whether you love him or hate him, you're still paying to watch his fight. That was it. That's how he made all his money. He basically played the bad guy for about 20 years, and now he's a multi-millionaire.
Speaking of that, actually, I've heard a little rumour that after seeing Jake Paul with the tricolour, you're ready to step up there if Conor McGregor isn't fit and good to go. I've heard a little rumour, mate, that you're willing to step in there.
I would love to, Craig. All right, who drapes our proud tricolour? Everything we fought for over your shoulders as a little 1 minute look at me. I'm rich and living it up in LA, and and trying to stick his nose where it doesn't really fit. You know, I mean, this. Don't get me started on the YouTube box and stuff, because Christ, look, these people, Conor McGregor, Ben Askren, Nate Diaz, they're seasoned professional fighters for like 15 years. This fella, he beats Deji and he beats Anderson Gibb, 2 FIFA YouTubers, and thinks he's the next Muhammad Ali. Don't even get me started on that fella. No, I'll be here all day, trust me.
Do you know what got me in that video, though? A couple of things. One, he slags the man's missus, the mother of the man's children. And I always said, man, people don't know McGregor and don't know Irish people well. If he doesn't need to worry about getting into a ring, but he needs to worry about McGregor jumping on a jet with a couple of his mates from Dublin and rocking up to that mansion, mate. That's what he needs to worry about.
100%. Was he not paying attention when McGregor chucked one of those dollies at a bus that was Khabib was on? I mean, this man is capable of things. He punched an old man in a pub. He doesn't know where the line is. So yeah, let's just say I hope Jake Paul has a lot of security. Actually, I don't hope he has a lot of security. I'm quite happy to see him get knocked out on the street. He's everything, right? He is everything Irish people do not stand for. Braggadocious, showing off all his money, thinking a big bank account means he's the big cheese. Nah, he's not for me. Not for me, Craig.
I think why we see a lot of Irish people doing okay on YouTube with football content is we have been born and bred to be bantered by our mates growing up, even our own parents, mate. Like if we even dare get an inch above our station, we're an embarrassment to the entire community. We'll be brought back down very quickly. Yeah,
that's a very good point, actually. We have been. Oh, Christ above, I'm a Newcastle fan. Can you imagine all throughout school the amount of banter I was getting off them? I got relegated 2 days before my birthday. As you know, Ireland is basically polluted with mostly Man United fans. Okay, a lot of Liverpool as well. And Man United were winning the league every year when I was in school. So yeah, I learned pretty quickly that to take football abuse. Yeah.
So what got you into the game? What got you into making YouTube content? Was there somebody that inspired you, or was it just a flashbulb moment?
To making YouTube content, that's a funny one. I was never a goal. That was never a thing for me. It was, all right, I'll tell you. I was at uni in Sunderland, and we were doing. There was a module where you had to go and vox pop people on the street, or you could stay inside and just ring up councils all day long. And most people chose that because it meant they could sit on their arse in the cold. Like Sunderland is absolutely freezing. But I went out and I got the camera and I just went out in the street on my own, just asking random questions. I remember I did one about Adam Johnson. He was going down at the time, and I went down to the stadium and asked a few questions about him. They didn't like that at all. I think one of them nearly punched me in the face, actually. But yeah, that kind of gave me a little window into it, thinking, this is fun. I could just, wind people up, get them on a camera. It's great. And so I graduated anyway. I was looking for a job as a writer because that was the goal. And I got in touch with HITC, which at the time was just a website, not even a football website, just for anything. And my boss is a very... he takes risks, all right? Because basically, after about one conversation... Clearly. Yeah, after one conversation with me, he suggested, why not set up a YouTube channel if you like doing all these Vox Pop stuff, and that can be your full-time job. And I couldn't believe it. He's literally offered me a full-time job to do something that I could well be shit at. And to be honest, I was very... the first few... Basically, all right, I did the Vox Pops with Sunderland fans and Newcastle fans for the first 4 months of the channel. And then I tried to evolve into the face videos. And good cry... You can probably relate, I'd say. I mean, when you look back at your first videos, you're not... No one's comfortable with the camera. I was horrendous anyway. And I was on a rolling contract. It wasn't fixed. So Vic, the boss, could well have just chucked me in a dumpster after 6 months. But he kept me on. Me and James, who's my co-colleague on there. So yeah, I think this is all down to him, really. That that he just took a massive gamble, and here we are 4 years later. And
that's a class story. That honestly is, because there's two ways this happens. It happens maybe like that for you, and then your own talent eventually shines through. And look, when I look back on early days, I was monotone, I had no energy. It was completely different. But then you see other people who, let's say the United stand, Mark Ober, just about to hit 1 million subscribers after 7.5, 8 years of hard graft. And I don't understand, mate, how anybody can begrudge that man a single cent or subscriber that he has, because you and I know, and anyone that make content, whether you make content for 10 people or 10 million people, it takes time, it takes effort. I've seen your videos. I know the level of planning, scripting, thought that goes into it. There's probably 90% planning, 10% output for the type of content that you make. I have it easy. I just go in and scream at the television here and just shout abuse and have a bit of fun and sing a few songs and have a bit of crack. But the level of content that you put out, man, that's top notch.
Listen, I appreciate that, but don't sell yourself down the river. I mean, there is
We're Irish, mate. Remember, we don't take compliments.
That's true. But hey, you complimented me, so I'm gonna have to give it back at you. I'm sorry, Craig. Now listen, if you're doing something live, that's a whole different kettle of fish. It's easy for me. I can just script something on my own time and it's fine. And I have to make sure it's all polished and perfect. When you go live on a live stream, you can say something that is out there and you can't take back. Do you know what I mean? And yeah, that takes balls, Craig. That takes serious balls. So
hence the 7-2 clip, Michael. I was just processing, making sure I wasn't going to say something, because you're right. I mean, I find live stuff easier. Because if I try to do stuff scripted, I just stutter. And I find if I have to do a video, let's say I'm doing a video for a sponsor that needs to be pre-recorded or something, take me about 15 takes. But if I just did it live on a stream, it seems to come naturally. And I'm somebody who, we spoke about being able to take the piss out of yourself as an Irish person earlier on. If you make a mess in live stuff, just lean into it. That's what I've always tried to do.
Yeah, 100%. I'm the same on the channel. I do a lot of predictions. I get about 85% of them wrong. You just gotta steer into it, you know. You can't take it too seriously. Just go along with the laugh. But how did you find your first live stream then? Because that I'd imagine, like anyone, if it's your first time going live, you're gonna be a bit nervous, no?
It was so strange, mate, because I went into it completely cold. So I wasn't somebody that had watched any YouTube content stuff. I came from writing and podcasting, and then the younger guy Connor, who you were speaking with earlier on, the brains of the channel, decided let's go to YouTube. So I went onto YouTube not knowing what a football YouTuber does. So to me, I instantly just started interacting with comments, because I'm not somebody, like, I've often looked at Mark Olbridge and he can go on and he can speak a monologue for 15-20 minutes brilliantly and get across his feelings and expression. I'm somebody who can only feed off live content and interaction. So it came natural to me to just talk to people. And that's eventually how the channel grew. Like, we used to do 3.5-4 hour streams, and it would go from football to shrinkflation to crisps to anything. It could go anywhere, mate. And It just makes you more comfortable in front of the camera. And, you know, those are some of the best times. I still look back at those and think I've had some of the best nights of my life in those early days doing those long streams. And you're a YouTuber, and I'm sure you hear from other YouTubers that would say, oh, I've only got 100 subs, or I've just hit 500 subs. We all appreciate those milestones. We've been there. We've celebrated those milestones.
100%. I remember back in the day when I hit 1,000 subscribers, I thought, Jesus Christ, because for me, you got to remember, like, I was living week to week with this thing. I was thinking the boss is going to drop me any second here. So I was kind of like, I wanted, basically, right. We started this in October, and the rolling contract was until May, I think. And so basically I had until the end of the season. So it's kind of like being on loan. You want to go out on a high. If the boss is going to get rid of me, which he probably should, I want to leave this at a respectable number. So I remember thinking I want to get to, I want to leave it at 5,000 subscribers after 6 months of graft. And then I can walk away, just say I tried it and do something else. And I remember when I hit that number, I was, it just felt massive at the time. Because when you start, you don't know how this is going to do. You really don't. So you really are so appreciative of every single subscriber, you know? I remember being stuck on, when I was just doing the Vox Pops after like 6 weeks, I remember being stuck on like 200 subs or something. And I'd just gone down to Middlesbrough on a wet and windy evening. I just remember ringing up the boss and going, how is this ever going to take off? Like, we're stuck on this number and it's not moving. So, yeah, I think, for me anyway, like you say, completely appreciated even the tiny numbers at the start.
How beautiful is it, though, that this new form of media allows us to smash down barriers? Like, it used to be you went into radio, or, you know, you became a T-boy at RTE, and eventually you worked your way up through it. And now we're just kicking down doors, mate, and saying, we're here, fuck you, deal with it. Yeah,
it's great. You know what's funny? The mainstream media, sure, they got on board with it a little bit when the boxing pay-per-views making loads of money, but they still don't really embrace it, and they don't really understand it. And it's funny, when you see the big celebrities like Will Smith or Raheem Sterling, they're now setting up YouTube channels because it's the penny's starting to drop for some of them, you know. And I think, yeah, give another 10 years, and I'm pretty confident, whether it be YouTube or another internet platform, streaming, whatever, that's going to be the main. That's going to be the main source of me, I think. Because listen, print media is on its way out. That's a dying breed. TV as well, like. Yeah, I think this is the Passover, and I think we're in the right place, to be honest. We just got there early before everyone catches on.
During lockdown, it's been so funny to basically see so many TV channels turn into B-Tech YouTubers who just do it terribly. Have you noticed some of the shit that they've put out?
I thought, to be honest, I rarely watch TV now myself anyway. Oh, what sort of stuff are they doing?
So, like, they're trying to use green screens and they're trying to do interviews. Like, I seen even, like, Tom Brady for the NFL, after, you know, winning the divisional final, I think it was, he's sitting there in front of a green screen, it's blurred, it's just and you're thinking the multi-million pounds that are behind these companies. Like, I remember going to my first ever shoot. So I was asked to go over for a betting company and do a shoot to, you know, do a few little bits and pieces with other football YouTubers. And I got over there, and as a YouTuber who sits here with a Logitech webcam and a computer and a wireless keyboard and mouse, I went over and I seen 3 or 4 cameras, riggers, I seen a director, and I was just thinking, Jesus, I could do this for so much cheaper.
Yeah. YouTube cost effective. Like, let me ask, what type of what's your green screen like? Because I had awful trouble with green screens at the start. I used to try and iron them and everything, and then the green would come off on the iron. It was awful. How did you get yours to work?
I've gone through a few different ones. So I used to have one that folded back up into a circle that popped out of a bag, and I used to rest it on top of the radiator, just kind of behind that drop between the radiator and the wall. Yeah. And in the last 6 months, I was able to find one on Amazon that actually has a stand on a tripod, and it stretches it out for you, so it's perfectly rectangular and there isn't a crease in it. And it was only about 50 quid, to be honest with you, mate. Yeah. And you know, you've got OBS there, which is free to use as well. People often ask how you get the programming for the green screen. It's OBS. It's free for everybody. And you know, I've recently upgraded to an iMac, and I have to say, mate, it's like pornography being able to use this thing compared to the old stuff. It's I mean, I'd be paying it off for the next 18 months or so, but
it's worth it. It's
absolutely
100% worth it. That's funny about the green screen, though. Yeah, honestly, like at the start, because there's nothing worse than a wrinkled and crumpled screen. Because when you order them, they come in a big massive package, and then when you take it out of the package, there's like about 20 different crinkles in it, and then that just completely ruins the whole thing. I think I went through about 5 before I just gave up and just got a backdrop instead. I'm not able to work a green screen. I just can't.
Hit us up, man. We'll sort you out with the green screen stuff. But you know, for the longest time, what I miss now, I've got this beautiful new iMac in front of me. You know, as I said, it's an expensive piece of kit, but hopefully it'll secure the future. But I used to use an old Nike Air Max box, and I used to put my monitor on top of that. And I miss having that old Nike shoe box there. I felt like it was a strategic part of what I was doing. I honestly miss it.
Yeah, it feels like you're doing. It feels. Yeah, I remember through Jordy, he said that for the first 3 years of his YouTube or something, he was using an ironing board and put his phone on it. And it's funny. It's funny the mere basics you can find to just start this whole thing, and then give it a few years, and hopefully you have the money to upgrade like you're doing with the iMac now.
I was speaking to Mark Goldbridge about this. Mark's been very good to me with advice and stuff behind the scenes. I was saying to him, mate, your webcam's always so clear. What do you use? And he said, I've bought thousands of quid's worth of cameras over the years, but he ends up going back to the Logitech C920. That was the first camera that he used because it's the one he feels most comfortable with. It is mad. For you, equipment-wise, what would a setup for you be like?
Well, in terms of my
what
gear,
would you use on a daily basis, or you know, what programs and stuff? Because a lot of people ask us these questions a lot of the time.
Yeah. I've got the same camera that my boss actually bought for me my boss is a great guy. He bought me a goddamn camera at the very start of this Canon 750D. Put that on top of a tripod, stacked that on the bed, and I got this weird backdrop. I don't know if you've seen it. It's in every video. It makes it look like I'm in a Syrian bunker. But
I used to use one. I used to have a red brick fake wallpaper that I put up on the wall behind me, like stuck to the wall.
Most people probably thought you were filming outside the house then, because that's the comments I get.
In a chimney.
Like Santa Claus.
Yeah, I definitely wasn't fitting down the chimney though, mate. Let's be fair about this.
If Santa could do it, you never know. But yeah, and then I got these 2 lights, and that is pretty much it. Yeah, you could probably, apart from the camera, you could get all that for about 100 quid, I'd say. So there's no massive high-tech secrets over here. Nothing like that.
It's lovely to hear that, though, because people, like, there is no barrier. You can use a phone in this day and age, mate. The phone cameras are so good. I mean, I use a USB microphone. I'm not sure about yourself if you use a normal microphone or USB. I use a Rode NT USB microphone, and I'll let you know in a little secret. It's a 300 quid microphone, but the only reason I was able to afford it was I got bet up one day, and I just said, "Fuck this." I won a bet. Yeah, I had a fiver accumulator on. I paid a 320 quid or something, and I said, "Right, I'm going to lose this, so I better just invest it in the channel and buy a microphone."
I get you. Hey, it was worth it, right?
Absolutely. And look, we're sponsored these days by Boyle Sports. And I tell you what, man, they are the best sponsors we could have ever wished for, because literally their input to us is just do what you want to do there, fella. Just put the Boyle logo in the background and that's it. Work away.
Hang on a second. Didn't Boyle Sports used to support, didn't they sponsor Sunderland for a while? Am I getting that right?
I remember back in the days where Charlie Chalk was wrapped up at Sunderland and Niall Quinn and all them back in the days. Perhaps right now they're Coventry, Birmingham, and they're working with Wolves as well at the minute. And obviously they're working with us, which is great. It's great to, I tell you what, it is honestly a proud moment when an Irish company like that, such a big company, gets in touch with you and wants to work with you, because we are proud Irish people as well at the end of the day. Like,
and they got in touch straight away with you. That's great.
After that 7-2 clip, my friend.
Was it? That's mad, Jesus. So again, this is what I said at the start. In a perverse way, thank God Liverpool got trashed by 5 goals against Aston Villa. And that Jack Grealish made Trent Alexander-Arnold look like a wet sponge. Maybe it's a good thing.
Again, I still take the points, buddy. As much as this has all grown, I'm somebody that my whole mood, my whole weekend is dictated by Liverpool's result. Now, obviously, being a Newcastle fan, you couldn't allow that to be the case, in which case you'd be you'd be in big trouble. I'd
be a very depressed individual if I did. No. I learned from a very young age not to get too wrapped up in Newcastle losing, because it happens very regularly.
Had some great heroes there over the years, though. Faustino Asprilla, Shearer. There's been some great players go through there, mate, over the years. And I have to say, I've always admired the way Newcastle play. And obviously being a Liverpool fan and Benitez having gone up to Newcastle, I'll always have love for the Geordies and the way they treated Rafa like one of their own. Yeah,
well, I think I've been to Liverpool a couple of times, and I can sense there's definitely similarities between Geordies and Scousers. Just real friendly, passionate, working class folk who don't, again, a bit like the Irish, don't take themselves too seriously. I live in Newcastle now, and yeah, the people up here, it kind of makes you sad when you go to a match day, like before COVID or whatever, and you just see such a stale brand of Steve Bruce football with an owner who really doesn't give a shit. And the fans are just watching their enthusiasm for the sport and for the club just being eroded on a weekly basis. I mean, I'm happy for Liverpool. Because finally I was going to say finally you're getting back what you put in. The fans are being rewarded for their passion. But have things at Liverpool really gotten that bad? I mean, I know you had your Roy Hodgson era, but as long as I've kind of been into football, Liverpool have been more or less around the top 4.
Yeah, we've trickled along, I won't lie, mate. I mean, we had Istanbul, obviously. We had another Champions League final we lost in Athens. We had the treble in 2001. There's been some good times, I won't lie to you. I remember being 7 or 8 years of age and going away with my local football team and sitting on the bus singing 27 years and you never won the league to Manchester United fans. And little did I know that I would be sitting there, mate, and heading for 38 years of age. And it was 30 years later before we won it.
You essentially cursed your club then, basically.
Well, that seems to be the rule that's going around anyway. I seem to be a jinx for Liverpool. I mean, by their own logic, I should be lauded for us winning the Champions League, because I predicted that stuff as well. But we know only the negative stuff does the rounds, buddy.
100%, yeah. 100%. Wait, hang on though. When did you predict it? Did you predict it at halftime against Tottenham in the final, or are you going back?
No, man. I'm the most optimistic Liverpool fan you me. I've been predicting us to win the league every year for the last 30 years. But I want to touch on Newcastle for a second, actually. And look, you've got a great player in Alisson Maximan there, somebody who I absolutely love as an individual and as a player. But there's this debate, right? So Newcastle were very close to a takeover last summer, and nobody wants Mike Ashley running the football club. But I'm torn as a Liverpool fan, because we've got owners now that they aren't owners that will throw 200 million a Kloppo every summer. They're clever in the way they do it. So I wonder would you be okay if owners came in and turned Newcastle into, let's say, Manchester City Mark II?
Yeah, why not? I wouldn't be against it. I suppose that's probably a better alternative to, wasting your life under an owner who has wanted out of the club since 2008 and is draining every last hope and bit of pride out of the club on a daily basis. Yes, I would. I'm frothing at the mouth for a takeover. Honestly, it should have come years ago. Because they're right now. Jamie Carragher said it well a couple of weeks ago. Newcastle is a pointless club right now. It needs a new, not just an injection of funds, but a new direction, like a goal. Because right now the goal is finishing 17th every year, and that's apparently good enough. Just flash Sports Direct logos on the telly and market your goods in the Far East. That is what Newcastle are. St. James's Park is a billboard. But is your question more, would I... Again, because I asked Man City fans the same question back when I was doing those Vox Pop a few years ago. I said to them, do you not miss the good old days when you were, Paul Dickoff scoring a last-minute equaliser in the Championship to get you out against Gillingham? Did you not feel more of a connection then than just, pressing the cheat mode on Football Manager and winning the league every couple of years? Is that where you're going with that? Is that what you're asking? Would Newcastle lose their soul by getting a takeover? Is that it?
Yeah, because with us right now, as I said, we've got FSG who are good, steady owners, and I worry about the next potential owners of Liverpool Football Club because I've seen with the likes of Malaga and other clubs where, Abramovich and Manchester City's owners do seem to be there for the long term and do seem to want to build the brand into a powerhouse. But I've also seen other clubs where Angie Mikala or whoever that club is pronounced over in Russia, where you've got oligarchs and rich owners that just come in and asset strip the club and they get bored of it. So for me, I've always been happy with our owners, although, you do want a little bit more. I just worry for Newcastle as a club because in this day and age, I was going to say the days of local boy done good and bought the football club are over, but with Mike Ashley, that's literally the case. But Newcastle has so much untapped potential. I'd love to see it do well, but I don't want Newcastle fans to be in a position where they're being mocked almost like Manchester City fans have been at times. Because as you said rightly, there are some die-hard City fans that went down through the division, filled out Main Road, and when they were a couple of leagues down, and they deserve massive credit for their loyalty. But I don't know. Yeah, would you feel a bit soulless?
It's a good question because I remember thinking the same thing about City. Maybe not this season, but a couple of years ago. When they won the league, what was it 90? When they pipped you, it was about 2 points in it. Anyway, they were winning nearly every game 5-0. They went on like a 20-game winning streak, and I just kind of thought the fans going on a match day to the Etihad, knowing they're going to win, does a kind of soak a bit of the, listen. Like if Man City fans get up on a Saturday morning to go to watch Burnley at home, it's not a case of will they score if they score. It's a case of when they will, how they will win the 3 points at a canter. So yeah, maybe if Newcastle did turn into Man City or something, maybe that would exist. I don't think so, and I don't think the Man City fans really. I think if you ask a Man City fan now, would you like to go back to the days of Stuart Pearce and putting David James up front? They'd say no. I'd say they're pretty happy with Guardiola and winning titles because for Newcastle, like the trophy drought is ridiculous. It's 5 decades, sorry. They need this club deserves trophy. Of course, no club has a divine right to win any silverware, but these fans do. They've been 52,000 people going every second week to watch Dross for the best part of 20 years, ever since Sir Bobby Robson was sacked. And Ashley came in 2007, and he was supposed to be the guy that took them to the next level, taking over Freddie Shepherd and John Hall. He was supposed to take them to the. I mean, Man City. There was no Man City then, but challenge Chelsea at the top, but. He says he doesn't have the money. He's a multi-billionaire. He's the owner of Sports Direct. Of course, the money's there, but the ambition isn't. And yeah, these Newcastle fans, they need to see their passion in the club mirrored in the ownership. And yeah, take it. Take any owner. Christ, take a gamble on an owner, even if it's not a filthy rich owner like the Man City ones. Take a gamble on anyone, literally anyone, because right now, I don't think there's a more pointless existence than just being happy with 16th in the league or 17th. Just take a gamble, take a risk, yeah. Just go for it.
I think it's a fair point. And you touched on Bobby Robson there, by the way. How great was it that as Irish fans, we were able to have Bobby Robson at one point managing our country as well? Because you got to love that man. You got to love him.
Yeah, 100%. I kind of like to forget that era of Irish football because 5-2 to Cyprus, scraping 1-goal wins over San Marino. But listen, Bobby was he didn't. It was all stat, all right. He was the boss. He was the gaffer. He was the one who. Yeah, we won't go on that. But Bobby, did you watch his documentary on Netflix?
No, not yet. I'll be honest. I haven't watched it.
It's great. Honestly, it's great. It documents his time at Barcelona, where you forget he was a really successful manager. He was going to Portugal, Holland, winning all these trophies, and he was a rare breed in the fact that he was a very successful coach, but you could tell he was a decent, genuine man as well. You know, even opposition fans would want to root for him. Like when he passed away, even Sunderland fans, they had a minute's applause for the man, even though he was coaching their bitter rivals for so many years. He was. I love managers who have a bit about them, a bit of charisma, a bit of, they don't just do the same stale post-match interview. And I don't think it's any coincidence that the guy he had under his wing at Barcelona basically morphed into the most charismatic manager in the world in Jose Mourinho, because he was being mentored by Bobby for years. So yeah, to be honest, I have such a soft spot for Mourinho because he came from that Bobby regime, and I can still see when you see a glint in Jose's eye, maybe more when he was at Chelsea than now, but you can kind of see Bobby being reflected back in that.
If my memory's right, I think wasn't he a translator or something? Did he start out something like that working for Bobby Robson? Yeah,
he's a translator. Yeah, because Bobby bless him didn't have much Spanish, so he just relied on Jose, and then he just morphed into a world-class manager himself. So. Yeah.
Before I let you go, buddy, I have 2 quick questions for you. I know who your least favourite Irish player is, so I'm not going to go there. I'm not going to touch that. But who's your favourite Irish player of all time, and what's been your favourite moment following the boys in green?
I'd say the moment and the player are different, but Damien Duff, he was. I've always loved left wingers, and he was my first real idol. Him at that World Cup, the goal against Saudi Arabia, the bow, everything. On his day, he absolutely tore Spain apart. So I think it's a bit ironic that he then signed for my favorite club and scored the goal that relegated us. I always think that's just the footballing gods taking a giant shit on me, taking my childhood idol and turning him into a relegation piece of fluff. But I loved him growing up. And best moment, without a doubt, Robbie Keane versus the Germans. Last minute, watching that in primary school, the whole place erupts. Bang, 1-1. Mick McCarthy dancing on the touchline. Amazing moments. Amazing. I'd say you must feel the same, surely.
I was working in a call center in Park West when we were playing the Germans and that, and it was a customer service for Orange, the mobile company in the UK. And everybody, when that goal went in, every call must have been deafened because we all were jumping up on tables, and there was no professionalism whatsoever. That was, I mean, for me, my moment's a little bit different because I think I'm probably a little bit older than you. So my favorite moment, my favorite player, by the way, of Irish, Paul McGrath, without a shadow of a doubt, absolutely idolized the man. And my favorite moment is the goal, the Ray Houghton goal in USA 94 against Italy in the Giant Stadium. But more of that game was the memory of Paul McGrath being just a one-man wall that they just could not get past. It was at the twilight of his career. He couldn't train anymore, but he was just phenomenal. And I just love the man so much. I think as Irish people, Duffer's great, by the way, don't get me wrong. Came up to Lord Celtic, I believe, and went on to play as great as he did. But we have a soft spot for somebody with a bit of a frailty, don't we, as Irish people? We can recognise ourselves in them.
Yeah, I think so. And there's no greater vulnerability than what Paul McGrath had to go through. That was, how good was he? Because obviously I hear all the stories, but never saw him play. But from what I hear, absolute giant of a man on the pitch.
He was phenomenal, mate. And look, I know his background story because he grew up in a similar area to me, and he played football down in Dalkey, and he's a very, very shy man as well. So he's not somebody that ever liked the limelight. And I remember my father used to work the door of a nightclub up in Club 92 up in Leopardstown Racecourse there in Dublin, and McGrath was in there one night, and he didn't want to talk to anybody. He was so shy, but you see him on the pitch and he performed with such. He's terrible knees. He couldn't train. Like one end of the week to the next, and he'd just go out, and whether it be for Manchester United or for Ireland, he would just deliver. And he's a colossus, mate. And we've been blessed with some great footballers. We've had Roy Keane, Damien Duff, Robbie Keane, Brady going right back. But for me, I've always just admired. I like somebody with just a little bit of a fault in them or just you know, a personality flaw. I think it's something that I identify with, perhaps.
Yeah, yeah. It's again like that's one of I can't really call it a regret because there's nothing I can do about it. But I wish I had grown up in an era where I could see someone like him play because. I mean, even for me, Roy Keane's another one you could touch on and having a few character flaws, but again, what a giant of a player. And I just missed the boat with Keane as well because the 2002 World Cup was when I got into it. And of course, that was when his international career pretty much died a quick death, save for a brief return under Brian Kerr. But yeah, he was another colossus on the pitch as well. Yeah,
absolutely. He was brilliant, and I tell you, you're too young to remember this, but Italia '90 changed our country. It changed us from being really the '80s through like poverty and unemployment. Italia '90 seemed to give the entire country belief, and it pushed us on. And I remember celebrating those victories and that honor save from Tomofte against Romania, and people running up and down cars and chipper vans. People, you might not know what a chipper van is, mate, but there used to be days where the old chipper vans were still floating around and those type of shops, and it was an amazing time. But I tell you what, I could continue to chat with you for ages, pal, but I'm gonna wind this down because I know you're a busy man. But any final thoughts or any brilliant little bits or anything coming up that you want to plug? Let the people know about. Not that you need to plug at, mate. Jesus, I mean, people know who you are, but.
I know. Listen, I appreciate it. But it's funny actually. One thing I should have mentioned when you asked me about how lockdown was, there is. I was just getting into football skits basically, where I get out of the house and I go out and I create these I guess short little films, I suppose, comedic films about football clubs. And I was just getting into my stride, and then lockdown hits and I have to stay inside for a year. But now, hopefully, if Boris. I think there's light at the end of the tunnel over here in the UK. The vaccines are going at a much higher rate than they are back in Ireland. So hopefully in the next coming months, I'll be able to get back outside, collaborate with other people, get these scenes done, because for the last year, I've done nothing but write these skits. I've tried to perfect them as much as I can. And I'm just itching to get back and just film them. And I'll tell you, the amount of work I've done, I'm going to have a solid 15 skits ready to go, and Christ above, these aren't just small little, filmed in 5-minute skits. These are skits with like 100 separate scenes featuring an array of different characters, all compiled into one. So Christ, I'm going to be filming for weeks. But football origin skits coming soon, and I cannot wait. I cannot wait to get my teeth back into them. Yeah.
I tell you what, mate, we're all grateful to your boss for taking that risk on you back in the day, because I've enjoyed watching your content. I've enjoyed seeing your face out there representing us Irish magnificently and flying the flag for us. And I can't thank you enough for coming on for a chat. It's been a real pleasure.
Oh, listen, no, Craig, no, the pleasure's all mine. And honestly, I could chat away for the next half an hour myself. I'll tell you this. I see a lot of football YouTubers rise up, come up, and then they can't, not just football YouTubers in general. I see them rise up and they don't stick around. But from what I've seen from you, Craig, I think you're going to be here for a long time. Your passion, the way you connect with your audience. You say I'm flying the flag for Ireland. I'm not. Trust me. Keep going as you are, and you're gonna be up. Fuck it. You'll be up here. You'll be flying towards 1 million subscribers. What you do, like I see the Red Men TV, they're great as well. Don't get me wrong, but trust me, I think there's so much potential here for you to be right up alongside them as the ones, as the beacons flying the flag for Liverpool, if you like, on YouTube. Because trust me, your passion for the club, it screams through. I know you don't have a Scouse accent. I know there's none of that, but trust me, you can see the real connection between you and that club, and I think that's why your audience are resonating with you. So trust me, keep it up, and lads, the sky's the limit, honestly.
You've no idea how much that means, mate. And look, drop me your address and an email and I'll get you sorted with some real crisps, fella, because I feel for you. Stuck over there without the real crisps. I mean, Kyo's, they are the way to go. I'll get you some Kyo's over, I promise.
I'll try a couple of Kyo's if you insist. If you insist, Craig, I'll give them a go. All right.
They're good enough for Jack, mate. They're good enough for you, but
yeah, very true. All right, although he does drive a shithole of a car, but yeah, you're right. You're right.
So do I. To be fair, I mean, I brag about my. I mean, that was one thing I had over Jack actually. Before we finish up, his was 2003 Yaris, and I was flexing with my 2011 Megane.
well, listen, I haven't even passed my driving test or theory test, so I'm the last person to speak on cars. All right.
I'll tell you what, I'll give you a lift, mate, next time I'm over. Look, Michael, aka the Irish guy, aka the guy from HITC Sport, but more importantly, a damn fine fella. It's been a pleasure chatting with you, mate, and I appreciate your time.
Thank you, Craig. Not at all. We'll do it again. We'll do it again sometime.
Absolutely, I'm holding you to that.
Yep.